Welcome back to another episode of Amazing Kitchen. Today we will be making a pork and chicken soup, but Chinese style. And we will be using some herbs and ingredients that will strengthen your immune system and give you better health. So let's get into it. What we have here, as you can see, these are all dried. We have a dry scallop. This adds a lot of flavor and potency to this soup. It really adds the richness to the whole dish. Then we have some red dates. These red dates help with anemia as well as strengthening your immune system. So having some in your soup will also add some sweetness in terms of flavor. Then what we have is we have some dried mushrooms. If you get some very nice quality dried mushrooms, once you add it to the soup, you can also have it once it's all cooked. It will be nice and chewy, and it's very flavorful in some soy sauce to go with your rice or whatever you choose to have it with. So this also adds flavor. Mushroom is always good for your health. Then we have something very unique that is probably most viewers have never seen. This is called Shi Hu in Chinese, and what it is, it's considered one of the 10 miracle herb. It's called immortality herbs by some medical journals in China. It is a herb that is believed to be using with the Chinese culture for over 2,000 years. And what makes this great is that it's the stem of this herb, of this plant, that we end up using for the soup or making tea with. And what this does is it helps with gastrointestinal disorders. It helps with cancer, diabetes, immune system. It almost does everything. And the flavor is very mild. It almost has no flavor, but once added to the soup, it really adds the benefit of all of these properties to your soup while you're drinking it. So this is great. So something like this I will leave at the description below, and you can find the name in more detail. So you can find these in probably most herbal shops in Chinatown or in Chinese grocery stores, but this is more specialized, so you have to go to a herbal shop to find these. They're a little bit pricey, but it's worth all for your health. Now, what else we have? We have something more typical. We have carrots. As everyone knows, carrot adds sweetness as well as vitamin A to our diet. So we add some carrot to this soup. And we have some Chinese parsley. Now the difference is the Chinese parsley has a more pungent flavor to it. So if you don't like, you can leave this out. But I mean, it's up to you. I like to add it for flavor. Now, these are dried ingredients. So after we soak it, it becomes like this. So the mushroom has become more soft, and the date also. So now it's ready. Oh, make sure you remove the pit in this date, because the pit is, you don't want the date seed in this soup. It counterbalances the effects of the meat. So therefore we take out all the seed first before we use it in our soup. And then this is this miracle herb that we spoke about. So once we soak it slightly, we can use this in the soup. So it softens up very great. Then we have this dry scallop. So this dry scallop, oh, the flavor is just amazing in this. This adds a lot of flavor to your soup. So we also give it a little soak in some room temperature water until everything softens up. Then we can start the soup. And what else we need here? We have, let's put these aside. And we have pork bones, right? With some meat, without meat. Then we have a whole chicken, a small chicken. So I will chop this up and we'll add this in the soup later. But before that, we have to blanch all of this meat in some boiling water to remove some of that gamey, unpleasant flavor that we don't like. It also helps wash away some of that fat before we use it in our soup. So let's go. I got some water behind me ready to go. So let's warm it up and blanch this meat and we'll come back. Okay, we're here. We have our water boiled already, and as you can see, oh, it's nice and steamy hot. So now what we do is we add all the pork and chicken into this water, and we just kind of blanch it for a minute or so, and we pour it out in the sink. Then we can go ahead and start the soup. Now let's go. What we have, let's put the pork bone first. Maybe let me also put this chicken because it's big. It will take up a lot of space. Then we'll put the pork bone around it. And some pork meat. Great. So we have everything blanching now. Once this comes back to a boil, we're ready to drain this. Great, now we're back from blanching all of our ingredients. Now let's take a look. As you can see, everything look a little whited out. So what we do is we now take the chicken. We're cutting the chicken into fours so it becomes easier to boil and easier to eat later on. Great, and let's continue to separate this at the joint. Okay, now we got the chicken all cut into smaller pieces. Our pork bones are already pre-cut, so we don't need. Great, now we have our meat cut. We'll just simply give the carrot a few small cuts also. Get it into smaller pieces. Then we can also use this in our soup. That's it. Then we take our parsley. We simply cut in two, maybe in three or four, your choice. And that's ready, and all of these ingredients has been soaked ahead of time. So these are all ready. Now we put everything in our boiling water and we can start our soup. So we first start with our meat, because we'd want to extract the flavor from the bones. And this will add a lot of taste to this pot of soup. So our pork bones is in. Now we add our chicken. Wow. This may look like a lot of meat for so little water, but that's the beauty of this soup. Is the essence all quenched into a small amount of water, and the flavor is just so intense. So let's put our scallop. I'll just crush it a little, put it over the top. Our mushrooms, we'll just separate them, even them out. Then we have our red dates and our Shi Hu over the top. I like to also add my carrot early because I like it to be nice and soft. So we'll reserve the Chinese parsley for last. Right before we're ready to serve, we'll add these, because if you add it too early, the flavor will dissipate and it won't taste great anymore. So now we have everything in, and we will simply put the cover on and wait for this to come back to a boil. We have it on high heat right now. Once it comes back to a boil, we leave the lid on and allow the high heat to really soften up everything for about 5-10 minutes. Then we turn the heat down to low and let it simmer for another half an hour. Then the soup is ready. Then we can add our rest of our ingredients. We add some salt to taste, and that's it. It's really so simple. It's all about the ingredients and nothing else in this. So we'll see you back in a bit. Great, now 10 minutes has passed and let's check on this. Oh, before I start, if you have a shallow pot like mine, where under high heat, it may not keep the water from splashing. So what you would have to do, like what I did, is to have a long chopstick or 2 sticks or anything to hold up the cover. So to allow the steam to vent while it's still on high heat. So that's what I did. So if you have a tall pot, you may not need to do this. Great. So as you can see, the soup has changed color a bit. It has taken on a more of a yellow hue because of the ingredients. Great. So now at this stage, we don't need the high heat anymore. We'll turn it down to low heat and we'll let this simmer for about half an hour to 40 minutes. Then once the water reduces a bit, everything soften up, we can add some salt to taste. Then the parsley goes in and the soup is complete. So we'll see you back in a... Okay, now after 40 minutes, we're back. Now let's check on the soup. Ooh, the water has reduced a lot and it's looking beautiful. Now let me get my ladle and check on this. Look at the beautiful color of this soup. Yes, it's ready now. Now we'll add some salt to this to taste, and we'll add our parsley also. Here's our parsley. Great. Now it's in. Now some salt. Got myself a little taster, and let's put some soup into it and see how this is. See if the salt content is good. The salt is just so subtle, not too much, but if you like it saltier, you can add more. Now we can turn off the heat for this. And let's scoop ourselves a bowl and try this. Okay, welcome back. So now we have our ingredients taken out from the pot. So I put it separately on a plate. So here we have the pork bones, we have the chicken, we have all the mushrooms and everything else. And usually we keep this aside and dip it in a nice soy sauce for taste. So the soy sauce, I've added some light soy sauce, some sesame oil, and because I like my stuff chili and hot, so I've added one red chili to this also. So this will act as my dipping sauce for my ingredients. Great, and we also have our soup in this bowl. I've added some of the carrots, some mushrooms, just a little bit of everything in this bowl, and a chicken leg. So now it's time for tasting. Oh, before I taste, I need to make this disclaimer. These Shi Hu, remember never to add more than 15 grams in your soup, because an excess of this will have a negative effect on the benefits. So do not put more than 15 grams of this in the soup that you're gonna make. So enjoy now. Let's give this soup a taste. Oh, this is awesome. Wow, this soup is so hot. Okay, it's burning me. I have to put that down. I'll pick up the soup, but don't mind my splashes. So this soup it has a very light, clear clean palate feel to it. I mean, yes, you see the layer of oil on the top, but that's fine. I mean, if you don't like it, you can scrape it off, but it's typically from the chicken and the pork. It's not much. I mean, it adds flavor to this. Now let's give this another try. I can feel its effect working already. It's going down very smoothly down my to my stomach, and I feel really comforting and nice. You should really try this, especially on dry days and cold days. You should really try this. This will help moisten your body, moisten your palate, strengthen your core. It'll help with your digestive system, build your immune system, and strengthen your blood also for those anemic patients out there. Okay, so now we tried the soup already. The soup is great, no doubt. Now let's try some carrot. Got this piece of carrot. Let's dip it in the soy sauce and let's see how this is. The dip is so simple, and the chili is adding so much spice to this. I love it. Now let's try my chicken leg. You see it's falling off the bone. It's nice and soft. Now we dip it in this soy sauce also. Sorry, the chili is getting down my throat, but this is awesome. This is tasty. But if you don't like the chili, you can always leave that out, no worries. But you should really try this with your family. Have it at home, have it for yourself, and the excess that is in the pot, you allow it to cool, and you can store it in the fridge and reheat it tomorrow again to enjoy this all over again. Okay, now if you like what you see today, please subscribe, and don't forget to look at the description for the Shi Hu writing, and I will probably leave a link also for some information so you can read up on it. Okay, bye now. See you.